Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome inside East Gymnasium here at Fort Lee, the setting for the first round of the 2022 Bergen Invitational Tournament. As we'll have a matchup of number 5 seed Midland Park taking on number 4 seed Fort Lee here in Region C. Hello, everyone. I'm Dan Long, joined alongside by Dimitri Nettis, our producer, and camera operator Nicole Pacciani. So glad that you could join us here on the Fort Lee Athletics YouTube channel. This game getting delayed because of the late arrival of Midland Park, so it was initially supposed to be a 4:15 start time, but will be pushed back here to starting about a half an hour later at 4:45. Big day of athletics here at East Gymnasium, as we will be having this broadcast brought to you, and then followed right after by Fort Lee Wrestling, as they'll play host to Cliffside Park in a matchup in the Big North American Division, a 7 p.m. scheduled start time here at East Gymnasium later on. So don't go anywhere if you want to watch a doubleheader of Fort Lee Athletics action here on the Fort Lee Athletics YouTube channel. The Bridgemen are 7-5 on the season, looking to get to 3 games above 500 for the first time this season. Midland Park 3-7 overall. They're trying to advance to the next round of this BIT showdown. The winner will take on Park Ridge, as that one is won by Sophia Pagan, but she can't win it herself, as she was the one taking the opening tip. So that's going to be a violation, which will give the possession back over to Midland Park. Midland Park is coached by Sean O'Connor, while Fort Lee is led by Bill Straub. As now it's going to be Midland Park operating an offense and getting it stolen away by Catalina Gill. Fort Lee in their home white uniforms with an orange and black trim. Midland Park defending in their green with black numerals. As now it's going to be Catalina Gill giving it to Sophia Pagan, the leading scorer for Fort Lee. That was knocked away, and Casal saving the possession. Gill to Casal on the baseline, and she got called for the travel in the act there as she tried to take that extra step to split through the double team of Midland Park on the baseline. First ever meeting in recent history between both of these schools. Midland Park coming off a loss yesterday against Park Ridge, while Fort Lee defeated Clifton yesterday after their initial home game against Westwood was canceled. They picked up a game, traveled to Clifton, defeated the Mustangs 42-20. As Fort Lee trying to continue their winning ways, they've won 5 out of their last 7 games on the season. There's a drive and a dish inside, mid-range jumper no good. Midland Park trying to fight for the rebound. It's going to be deflected, last touch off of Diaz of Fort Lee out of bounds. And will be an inbounds upcoming now for Midland Park. Still looking for our first points of the afternoon between both teams, and there's the inbound and a foul administered by Fort Lee, and that will send the Panthers to the line shooting 2. Jessica Balala, the senior, will get an opportunity to get the first points of the game, as Balala, one of the leading scorers for this Midland Park side, and she rattles home the first points of the afternoon. Balala had 5 points, 15 rebounds, and 5 assists yesterday in the loss against league rival Park Ridge. She goes 1 of 2 at the line. 1-0 lead for Midland Park. 90 seconds gone by. Here's Catalina Gill. Gill, the junior point guard, has had a couple of big games during this winning streak. There's Gill from deep and knocks down the 3-point shot. Off to a rip-roaring start goes Catalina Gill, and she has staked Fort Lee now to their first lead of the day at 3-1. Sophia Southey into the corner. Dumped down low, double teams comes, and there's the mid-range jumper, too strong that time by Brandy Shortway. Midland Park turns Fort Lee over, and they get the possession right back, trailing 3-1. Midland Park averaging just under 33 points a game. Fort Lee Has been scoring on average just around 39 points a game. Defensively very strong this year for the Bridgemen, allowing under 40 points a game to their opponents. Casal with good interior defense, misfired, and the shot down low was Balala. And Gill will take it away. She pushes the pace right to Pagan. Pagan drew the contact. We play on. There's a no call here, and now an ensuing foul will be called against Midland Park. After Pagan was hoping to have the opportunity there to get to the foul line and draw a foul in the act of shooting. So Pagan now will have an opportunity to do the inbounding here with 5:18 left to go in the first quarter. Inbounds it up top to Catalina Gill. Gill goes right down the lane, gets it to Pagan. Pagan gets rejected by Shortway. Shortway with the rebound after producing that block shot. And here come the Panthers, still looking for their first made field goal of this BIT game. It's a long-range three, no good that time by Kasperian. And that'll deflect. Last touch out of play off of Fort Lee. Again, the winner will take on the top seed in Region C, which is Park Ridge, a team that has bested Midland Park twice this year in the NJIC. That game would be at Park Ridge. Another shot left short, this time by Cruz, and a rebound by Pagan. So Pagan and Fort Lee bringing it down to the offensive end. Here's Pagan, cross-court pass, Isabella Maloney. Maloney, pull-up jumper, no good. Rebounded by Cruz and quickly outletted down the floor. As Avery Kasperian, the senior, will bring it up the court. Kasperian, 9.2 points per game to go along with 6.2 rebounds. She had 11 points in the defeat yesterday against Park Ridge. Balala, she lost control. Here's a 2-on-1 fast break the other way. Catalina Gill lays it in, and Gill's got all 5 Fort Lee points. Off the assist from Sophia Pagan. Unselfish look there by Pagan. And Fort Lee leads now 5-1 as we're coming up on the midway point of the first quarter. So glad that you could join us here for BIT tournament action on Fort Lee's Athletic channel on YouTube. That's deflected, and now taken in. Another turnover forced by Fort Lee. As Pagan will bring it up into the half court, get it over to Maloney. Back up top to Pagan, now to Gill. Defenders fly out to her. Gill left the ball, though, and coughs up the turnover. Midland Park struck for the first lead of the game at 1-0 with the foul shot converted by Jessica Balala, but they have been held scoreless since by Fort Lee's defense. Casal with a strong move underneath to pull the ball out. It's going to be a jump ball. Possession will favor Fort Lee. So Casal with that tie-up forces the arrow, and the possession arrow will give the ball over to Fort Lee. So the defense still smothering early on here for the Bridgemen with 3:14 left to go in the first quarter. Since beginning their season with 3 straight losses, Midland Park has bounced back themselves. That's going to be a moving screen against Fort Lee, as I believe that will be going against Sophia Pagan. That'll be the second foul for Fort Lee. Midland Park with 1 foul so far in this first half. There's a deflection, and it's going to be a loose ball push is the call. And is that going to be going against Fort Lee? Can't tell. They do put up the foul, so it's going to be the 3rd team foul against Fort Lee. So the Bridgemen with back-to-back fouls against them, as we're coming up on 2:45 and counting left to go here in the first quarter. It's deflected out of bounds and will be another turnover for Midland Park. So Fort Lee has been holding Midland Park to 1 point, but still only lead by 4, 5-1, a very low-scoring game. Here's Pagan banking that one in and around the foul line. Sophia Pagan with their first 2 points of the game, and now Fort Lee with a 7-0 run. Have taken control here in the first quarter at home. A dump down inside, now moving it back up top. Ella Meyer getting it over to the near side to Bilala. Bilala hounded by a pair of defenders for Fort Lee. They understand that she is a focal point of this offense. She averages a double-double this season for Coach O'Connor. 10.4 points per game to go along with 12 rebounds a contest. Here's Bilala now. Quickly sets and fires and nearly got it to fall. Hit 3 parts of the rim, just cascaded off to the side. Here's Catalina Gill. Picking up the dribble over to Pagan now. Pagan cross court to Olivia Hausman, who's come in off the Fort Lee bench. She's a deadly 3-point shooter. Gill now to Hausman. Here's Hausman for 3. She banks it in. Making my words seem prophetic there, as Hausman immediately came in and immediately knocks down the 3-point shot. Second made 3 of the quarter for Fort Lee. Up and under move, drawing the contact, was Bilala. And for the second time in this game, Bilala will earn herself a trip to the foul line with 1:18 remaining in the first quarter of play. Bilala has accounted for the only point so far this quarter for Midland Park. Coming at the foul line, it's been a 10-0 run for Fort Lee, and it remains that way as she misses the foul shot. So Fort Lee has gotten 3s knocked down by Catalina Gill and now Olivia Hausman to go along with a layup by Catalina Gill and a mid-range jumper by Sophia Pagan. 10-0 spurt, and now another missed foul shot. Bilala missing a pair. 10-1 lead for Fort Lee. You're watching coverage of this 2022 Bergen Invitational Tournament game. Number 4 seed Fort Lee playing host to number 5 Midland Park in the Region C grouping. Winner will travel to top-seeded Park Ridge in the next round. 50 seconds and counting now left to go in the first quarter. Dropping it down low, tipping it away. Here's Pagan off to the races. Sophia Pagan the other way. Layup a little too strong on the left side. Maloney diving full extension on the floor, couldn't get it. Here comes Midland Park the other way with Kasbarian. Around the perimeter, Meyer trying to get it over to Cruz. Cruz has had it, another steal for Pagan. Pagan again off to the races, this time to the right side, but a clean block by Kasbarian. Midland Park with a pair of blocks. Good recovery defense there by the Panthers. Under 10 seconds left to go in the first quarter. Meyer inside, pass deflected away into the corner. Shot is up and hit into the stanchion, no good. So Fort Lee holds Midland Park to a single point in that first quarter of play. And it will be a 10-1 lead for the Bridgemen heading into the start of the second quarter. You're watching coverage of the Bergen Invitational Tournament here, courtesy of Fort Lee Athletics and their YouTube channel. About to start the second quarter of play here from East Gymnasium at Fort Lee. The Bridgmen on top of Midland Park by a score of 10-1. A 10-0 finish to that quarter for the Bridgmen, as Catalina Gill, the high scorer, with 5 of Fort Lee's 10. Midland Park still in search of their first field goal of this game. Their lone point coming at the foul line. They've led actually in this game 1-0. Fort Lee's defense has been good so far here today, forcing a ton of turnovers. There's a take to the rim, left short. Meyer, though, collects her own miss and saves the possession here for Midland Park. They work it around the perimeter. Here's an outside shot and a three-point ball. Knocked down by Avery Kasbarian. Kasbarian knocking down the three. First main field goal of the game for Midland Park. After the three was missed, Casal eventually got it to Diaz. Diaz missed. Here's Maloney cleaning it up inside. Isabella Maloney with her first 2 points of the game. Great work on the offensive glass by Fort Lee. 12-4 advantage now for the Bridgmen. Maloney almost anticipated that one to perfection. Meyer holding onto it, getting it into the corner to Shortway. Floating shot doesn't go. Ball caroms out, though. A fortuitous bounce getting it back into the hands of Midland Park. Worked around the perimeter, into the corner goes Shortway. Getting it back up top to Kasbarian. Kasbarian with the first made field goal just in the last possession. Here she goes to the rim. The in-between shot doesn't fall. Rebound underneath by Diaz. Kasbarian had 11 points, including 3 threes made yesterday in the loss to Park Ridge. Here's Gill back to Houseman. Houseman for 3! Olivia Houseman with her second made 3 of the first half. She's got a game-high 6. And Fort Lee now enjoying their largest lead of the first half at 11, 15-4. And Fort Lee trying to get to 3 games above 500 for the first time this season. There's a three-point shot by Midland Park, no good. Another good box out underneath by Diaz. Fort Lee was alternating wins and losses for the opening stretch of the season. Now they've got into their groove, again, having won 5 out of their last 7 games. Here's Houseman, back to Gill. Gill around the defense up top. Here's Maloney for 3. No good. Fort Lee has knocked down 3 threes so far here in the first half. Maloney is a deadly catch-and-shoot shooter from the outside as well. Here's Gill anticipating that pass and will take it coast to coast for the easy 2. Catalina Gill with 7 points and a timeout taken by Sean O'Connor, as he'll want to talk things over after his team once again had a turnover lead to points the other way for Fort Lee. The Bridgmen on top by a 17-4 margin here in the first half of play. Midland Park has done a lot of their damage on the road so far this season, winning twice on the road, accounting for 2 of their 3 wins on the season, having defeated Hawthorne Christian on the road back on January 5th and Waldwick on January 10th. This is the second of 4 straight road games before ending the regular season at home against Cresskill or Midland Park on February 18th. In looking at this Region C, as we mentioned, this is the top part of the bracket. 5-4 matchup, Midland Park the 5, Fort Lee the 4. The winner takes on number 1 seed Park Ridge on Saturday, February 5th in the next round. The bottom side of the bracket, it's going to be a matchup of 3 versus 6. The 6 seed being St. Mary's, the 3 seed being Indian Hills. The winner of that matchup would then travel to take on number 2 seed Holy Angels on Saturday, February 5th. But again, the winner of this Region C would advance to the Final 4 of the BIT. Just like they have the same edition in the boys' ranks to complement the Bergen Jamboree tournament. And the girls' county tournament going on at the same time as well. So glad that you could join us for some tournament action here today. There's a three off the back iron, no good, but another offensive rebound. Gets it right back to Kasbarian. Here's Kasbarian. Tries her luck again from distance. No good. She's missing just by inches. As she has the lone field goal made so far in this game for Midland Park, as that caromed out of play. The last couple of three-point attempts just hit off the back iron for number 12 in green. Went out of bounds, last touch off of Fort Lee, so it's going to be an inbound upcoming for the Panthers. Short way into the corner, another three-point attempt, and another time it just hit off the back iron. Unlucky there. Great looks by Kasbarian. Just couldn't get any of the three to fall. Across the middle, there's Pagan aggressively taking it right down the middle. No good. Good interior defense there by Balala. He's trying to draw the offensive foul in the process as well. Getting it up top. Kasbarian dumping it. Foul line extended to Balala. Meyer was going down that far side, and she gets called for the travel. So the turnover with 3:38 remaining here in the second quarter will give the possession back to Fort Lee. Again, this is a part of a athletics double dip here, a doubleheader of events at East Gym. Girls basketball action here, and then followed up with a wrestling match later on tonight. And there's a knockdown three. Fort Lee tickling the twine yet again. There's a long distance three, and no good. Fort Lee on top 20-4 here in the first half. Fort Lee is connected on 4 made threes. Midland Park only on 1, but then they get the mid-range jumper to fall. Jessica Balala now with her first made field goal. She's got 3 points in the game. 20-6 now, the deficit facing Midland Park. Here's another three by Maloney. Trying to go back-to-back with three-pointers made. Kasbarian getting it down to Balala. Good ball movement. Around the perimeter, here's Cruz from three. No good. Balala, another rebound inside. Again, you could see why she averages a double-double this season. She's a fiend on the glass, and it's going to be last touch off of Fort Lee. As Casal will come in, and Houseman will check out for Coach Straub's side. 2:22 left to go here in the first half of play. It's been all Fort Lee so far in this game. Game that started 30 minutes late due to late arrival of Midland Park. Rebound inside. Short way. Draws the possession with the jump ball situation, and the possession arrow favors Fort Lee. So the ball back to the Bridgman with 2:09 left to go in our first half of play. Dan Long, so glad to be on the call for yet another edition of Fort Lee girls basketball here in the 2021-22 season. Maloney could not get that one to fall. Good hustle attempt by Casal as she fell to the deck. Though it's going to be last touch off of her. And we'll give the ball back to Midland Park with 1:54 left to go in the first half of action. Midland Park not only trying to pick up the win here to advance in the BIT, but also trying to keep their playoff hopes alive for the state tournament. Coming in ranked number 17 in power points. Top 16 make it. As that goes out of bounds, they're participating in the North 1 Group 1 state sectional playoffs, while Fort Lee keeping an eye on their power points for North 2 Group 3. They check in the number 12 spot in that group, and obviously if they could find their way into the top 8, they would also get a chance to host a game here at East Gym. Gill sets and fires from deep, no good. Rebound secured underneath inside by Giselle Miranda, number 22, who's come into the game for the first time for Midland Park. Miranda is swarmed, and the turnover procured by Fort Lee's Maloney. Now that'll bring Pagan down the other way. Here's Maloney for three. No good. Rebounded underneath. With 1 minute left to go here in the first half of play. Miranda again got the pocket picked, but they're going to also rule a kickball on that play. So that'll give the ball back to Midland Park. Miranda quickly trying to get it out of harm's way, but throws it away in the process. She saw the double team coming to her. Here's Pagan weaving through the host of defenders. Some contact, no call. As Pagan slow to get to her feet. Referee's letting them play. Only 5 combined fouls so far in this first half, and now a late whistle. And Coach Straub, not a happy camper for Fort Lee. He thought that Pagan had earned a trip to the foul line on the other end of the floor with the take. That was a no call, and then a subsequent foul in the act of shooting whistled against his defense on the other end. That'll bring Brandy Shortway to the foul line. She'll miss on the first attempt. Shortway had 17 points in the loss yesterday against Park Ridge. And foul shooting has hurt Midland Park so far in this first half. 5 misses in 6 total attempts for the Panthers here in the first half. Maloney inside to Pagan. Pagan with a head of steam in front of her. A lot of contact again. No call. 10 seconds left to go in the first half. 20-6 lead. Fort Lee's defense has put the clamps on the Panthers' offense in this first half. Here's a shot from outside. Kasbarian, though, knocks down the triple. Her second of the game just to beat the buzzer. And will that be a momentum booster for Midland Park heading into halftime? It will be a 20-9 lead for Fort Lee as we head to halftime here at East Gym. Stick around as we'll be back for the start of the second half as you're watching all the exciting action here on the Fort Lee Athletics YouTube channel. Welcome back, everybody, inside East Gymnasium as we're moments away from the resumption of play in the start of the second half. Fort Lee on top of Midland Park by a score of 20-9. Fort Lee held Midland Park to one lone point after the first 8 minutes of play. Midland Park sank down a couple of made threes, including on the last possession of the half by Avery Kasbarian to pull back to within 11. So still, this game is not completely out of reach yet, as both defenses have been very good at slowing down the opposing offenses. And taking a look at the stats from the first half of play, Avery Kasbarian with a team-leading 6 points for Midland Park. Jessica Balala also has chipped in 3 points as well and has once again been very effective underneath as a rebounder. Looking at the scoring for Fort Lee in that first half of play, 10 points, a game high for Catalina Gill. Gill knocking down a pair of three-pointers in that first half. She has been sensational yet again for the Bridgemen. Olivia Hausman with 6 points on 2 made threes off of the bench. And Isabella Maloney and Sophia Bagan each with a made basket themselves in this one. Again, the winner of today's game will advance to take on top seed Park Ridge in the next round of this Bergen Invitational Tournament. That game is slated for next Saturday, February 5th. The game would be hosted by Park Ridge. Fort Lee, the number 4 seed in this group, taking on number 5 seed Midland Park. Midland Park trying to look for their 4th win of the season. Fort Lee trying to look for what would be win number 8 of the year. It would also make the Bridgemen, for the first time this season, 3 games over 500. As we're underway in the start of the second half, Midland Park in the green, defending in the home white, Fort Lee. Dan Long joined alongside by Dimitri Nanis and Nicole Pacciani. Happy that you could join us here for girls basketball coverage, courtesy of the Fort Lee Athletics YouTube channel. Good defense fronting the player in the post there by Diaz. Got a hand on it, deflected, last touch out of bounds, so it'll stay possession upcoming for Midland Park. Kasbarian will trigger the inbounds. Nice give and go underneath, but the layup is missed inside by Shortway. And a tie-up will ensue, and the possession error will give the possession back to Fort Lee. That was a nice give and go, and Shortway would love to have that layup opportunity back, as she just couldn't get it to go. Now Fort Lee's first offensive possession of the second half. Here's Pagan on the baseline. Pagan, cross court to Catalina Gill. Again, 10 points for the point guard, who has the ball now for Fort Lee in the first half. Gill picks up her dribble, now to Maloney. Maloney to Pagan. Pagan with the elbow jumper. No good. Casal cleans up the offensive glass inside, but her shot is no good. Balala maybe got away with what was a travel there. Casal was pleading her case as she was tying up the ball, and Balala fell backwards. Referees are certainly letting the girls play here today on both sides. Here's another long-range three, and that is 3 made threes in this game by Kasbarian. She has the last 6 points in this game, and just like that, Midland Park is back to within only 8. Here's Gill with a pull-up jumper, left short. Inside, Casal getting dirty. Diaz getting dirty as that goes out of bounds. Last touch off of Midland Park. So Avery Kasbarian, who knocked down 3 threes in the last game yesterday against Park Ridge, now already with 3 made threes here today. She's got 9 points to lead the offense for Midland Park. Here's a turnover. Kasbarian now dribbling up the floor. She'll look for 4th three-pointer of the game. That time it doesn't draw iron, and it's going to be last touched out of bounds by Balala on the baseline. It's a good idea. Kasbarian has started to lock and load from 3 in the last couple of offensive opportunities. She hit that shot just before halftime and just got a 3 to start off play here in the third quarter. So offense now lacking here for Fort Lee. Richmond scoring 10 points in both the first and second quarters, looking for their first points of the second half. Pagan dribbling it, getting it down low to Diaz, and now reach and foul against Midland Park. Panthers committed only one team foul in that entire first half. Now Maloney up top to Gill. Here's Gill for three. No good. Karams out to Maloney. Maloney sets and fires and knocks it down. Bella Maloney now with 4 points in the game. And that offensive putback, and Fort Lee on the board to start the third quarter. Lead back to 10, 22-12. Shortway. Corner three, too long. Maloney with the rebound. She'll drop it off for Gill. Gill back to Maloney. Maloney for three. That time just tipped off the front of the iron, no good. Hustle for it. Into the hands it goes of Kasbarian. Fort Lee in their zone look. Here's Kasbarian from straight away. No good. Rebounded inside by Southey. Extra possession here in offense. Nice dish inside, and Shortway does get it to fall this time. Randy Shortway's first 2 points of the game off the assist from Avery Kasbarian. And once again, the lead is down to 8. And it's going to be an offensive foul whistled against Fort Lee. So Midland Park just sticking around in this game despite falling behind by double digits in that first half. A 3-point shot of their defense keeping them in this game. 4:27 left to go in the third quarter. It's going to be an inbound to the near sideline. Getting it up top to Shortway. Back to Kasbarian on the baseline. Pull-up jumper. Mid-ranger, no good. Fight inside. Pagan pries it away herself. Here comes Sophia Pagan trying to go coast to coast with it. But she got it tipped away from behind, out of bounds. It'll stay possession with the Bridgemen. Pagan getting it up top to Casal. Gill over to Maloney. Maloney inside the paint, give and go between Diaz trying to find Casal, but she gets it stripped away by Sophia Southey. Another turnover for Fort Lee here in the third quarter. A lot of contact to the baseline. Referee again swallowing the whistle. Players have to adjust to the type of refereeing here today as well. That's an errant pass that leads to a breakout the other way for Gill, and Gill with an easy layup again. Turns the defensive play into 2 more points on offense. Catalina Gill now with 12 points in the game. And Fort Lee once again extends their lead to double figures. It's 24-14. As we're closing in on the end of the third quarter. After beginning the season 0-2 here at home, the Bridgemen have won 4 straight at East Gym, defeating league rivals Ridgefield Park and Cliffside Park, and in their last time out, defeating Pascack Hills. Trying to go to 4-2 at home here on the season. For Midland Park, they're trying to win their 3rd game of the season on the road. 2 of their 3 wins have come away from home. And they're in the midst of a road trip right now, as this is the second of 5 consecutive games on the road before they finally get back home to take on Cresskill on February 18th. .341 left to go here in our third quarter. Fort Lee on top of Midland Park by a score of 24-14. Catalina Gill has been the leader for the Bridgemen here today. Number 5 in white has 12 of her team's 24 points. Cruz getting it back up top. Kasbarian inside. Balala, good ball movement. Kasbarian draws the defense. And that shot off target there for Balala. She got the opening inside the paint from around the foul line, but her jumper was off the mark. as we're closing in the final 3 minutes of the third quarter. Again, Fort Lee has been in control for the majority of this game. Midland Park has led only once. That's when it was 1-0 to start things off. This game started about a half an hour later than expected. Nice move there by Bella Maloney. Maloney weaved her way through the defense. Now back-to-back buckets for Maloney. She's got 4 of her 6 points here in this third quarter. Give and go off to the near side. And it's going to be a turnover forced by the defense of Fort Lee as the Bridgemen trying to settle things down here again late in the third quarter. They've stretched their lead back to 12. Midland Park has, on a couple occasions, gotten it down to 8 after Fort Lee had a commanding lead late in the first half of play. Here's Gill over into the near side corner as Houseman is checked into the game as well. Maloney across the middle, trying to bank that one home, no good. Rebound snatched away by Kasbarian inside. Cruz into the near side corner, and again another misfire and a turnover off the fingertips of Shortway. Here's Gill open for 3 in the corner, rattled in and out. Rebounded underneath by Balala. Midland Park trying to clean it up on offense. A lot of simple turnovers. Not even getting the shot attempts up just yet. They're still in the thick of things here. Down 26-14. Here's another 3 knocked down by Avery Kasbarian. Kasbarian now with 12 points in the game. Coming on 4 made threes. Gill up top to Maloney. Maloney sets and fires for 3, no good. Diaz trying to produce underneath. And they're going to say that she stepped out of bounds on the baseline after bringing home the offensive rebound. So the 3-point shot, which is courtesy of number 12, Avery Kasbarian, has kept Midland Park in this game. They're down by 9, 26-17, as we are approaching the final minute of the third quarter. Kasbarian and Catalina Gill each with 12 points each, and there's a big 3 knocked down by Jessica Balala. And just like that, Midland Park has gone on a run. They're back to only 6. Houseman looks to respond, no good. Offensive rebound out into the corner to Pagan. 26-20, the lead for Fort Lee. A 6-0 run of late here for Midland Park. Balala racing down to beat the defense, and she lays it in. An 8-0 run by Midland Park, and the lead is only 4. 26-22 with under 30 seconds left to go in the third quarter. Pagan intercepted on her pass attempt. It's amazing how momentum can shift courtesy of the 3-point shot. Kasbarian straight away, no good. Tipped away down low. Here's another pull-out 3 for Midland Park, rebounded by Pagan. Pagan with some time left in the quarter. Pagan floats that one up and nearly banked it in on the run. And a furious finish to that third quarter by Midland Park as the Panthers believing the Fort Lee lead is only 4, 26-22. As we'll head to the start of the fourth quarter upcoming here from East Gym as you're watching coverage of the 2022 Bergen Invitational Tournament's first round. What a turn of events in this game. Fort Lee, less than 2 minutes ago, up 12 comfortably, it seems. They were enjoying that 12-point lead. But 3-point shots knocked down by Avery Kazbarian, Jessica Balala, and then followed up by a layup in transition by Balala. As Midland Park right back in it, down by 4, 26-22, as we get back here to start the fourth quarter of play. Fort Lee's got to be aware of when Kazbarian has the ball, she just sets and fires from straight away, no good. She is not shy to try her luck from three. She's knocked down 4 here today. Here's Houseman. Fort Lee was held to only 6 points in that third quarter on offense. You got to get the offense going here to get back in a comfortable lead. Here's Maloney for 3. Airballs that one. Rebounded by Salvi. Midland Park down by 4, 26-22. As we're just underway, the start of the fourth quarter. A doubleheader of athletic events here on Fort Lee's YouTube channel. Girls game here, followed by boys wrestling coming up. We'll have all that covered for you here tonight. Fort Lee looking for the win and to advance in the BIT here today. Midland Park trying to rally from double digits down to come back in this one. That pass too hot to handle by Balala, goes out of bounds. Another turnover for the Panthers and an empty trip on offense. 6:55 and counting now left to go here in regulation. Catalina Gill bringing it up. She has a 12-point performance so far in her back pocket. We'll see if they try to feature number 5 a little bit more with some shot opportunities. She's been the most consistent shooter. Here's Hausman, open for 3. Overshoots the rim that time, but Pagan right in the perfect spot for the offensive rebound. Here's Gill for 3, no good. Rebound by Balala. Hands it off now to Kazbarian. Shortway, give and go, back to her on the baseline. There's perfect execution by the Panthers. And the lead is down to 2, 26-24. Maloney for 3. And Fort Lee ice cold from 3-point range. Midland Park is giving them that shot each and every time, and Fort Lee is electing to go for those shots rather than better shots inside. Now a 3 would give Midland Park the lead. Midland Park only produced 1 point in the entire first quarter. They never let it fall behind by as many as 20. The lead was always around 12 and 14, and they fought their way back here. Cruz, here's a give and go again on the baseline, and again it leads to the layup. Identical execution on the give and go. Brandy Shortway with back-to-back buckets, and we're all knotted up at 26 all. Pagan dribbling, tries that floater, doesn't finish. Maloney with the hustle play, getting it up top to Gill. Gill across the middle, weaves her way, and there is the baseline jumper for Sophia Pagan. Pagan only with now 4 points in this game. She's been relatively quiet, but a nice drive and dish that time as Catalina Gill drove and drew the defense. Pagan with a mid-range jumper, and now Fort Lee back on top, 28-26. Even though incorrectly on the scoreboard, it's reading Midland Park up 28-26. It is, in fact, Fort Lee with the 28-26 lead after Sophia Pagan knocked down her first made shot since the first quarter of play. Again, the winner will advance to take on top-seeded Park Ridge in the next round of this 2022 Bergen Invitational. Park Ridge just defeated Midland Park in their league game last night as they are part of the NJIC Patriot Division. Park Ridge in second place behind Emerson, who sits atop the standings. Midland Park 3-5 in league play. They are sixth place. For Fort Lee, they represent the Big North American Division. Fort Lee in second place in league play behind Dumont, who's perfect 4-0. Fort Lee 4-1 in league action. The Bridgemen trying to win their fourth consecutive game here at home, but they're having a stiff test presented by Midland Park. The Panthers have rallied from being down by double digits and are down by only 2 right now. Bilala, Salvi. Hard collision underneath. Still we play on. Up top, here's Bilala for 3, no good. And that'll be tipped into the hands of Maloney. Good hustle in the play underneath by Shortway. Maloney going back and forth and missing the shot. Diaz couldn't get the offensive rebound. Another quick possession for Coach Schraub's Bridgeman. 28-26. Bilala back and forth again trying to find Shortway. That time it deflected off her hands. If not, she might have had another layup attempt underneath. They've just gone backdoor on Fort Lee here in the fourth quarter to great success. Here's Pagan getting it up top to Maloney. Maloney can't get it before it goes over and back for a backcourt violation. A turnover against Fort Lee as we have hit the midway point of this fourth quarter. 4 minutes exactly remaining here, and it's anyone's ball game. Midland Park trailing 28-26. Cruz up top, Bilala hounded by Diaz. A lot of contact and no call. Here's Kasparian for 3, no good. Casal with the rebound. That 3 would have given Midland Park their first lead since it was 1-0. Here's Gill. Now to Pagan. Fort Lee has been 3-point happy in this game and have really not found success in this entire second half from deep. Can they work it inside? There's no clear height advantage in this game for either team. What a nice move by Sophia Pagan. Cut inside with a dribble, curled around and banked it home. Sophia Pagan now with 6 points in this game, 4 of which have come here in the fourth quarter when it's mattered the most, and now she secures the loose ball after the tip. 4-point lead for Fort Lee. Pagan into the corner. Gill driving on the baseline right. Kick ball out of bounds. Possession will stay with the Bridgemen with 2:49 left to go in regulation. Pagan looking for an outlet. Will get it up top to Catalina Gill. Gill is yet to score in this fourth quarter. 12 points, leading scorer in this game for Fort Lee. Pagan asking for it in the left side. They go to the right side of Diaz. Diaz cross court to Pagan. Pagan across the middle, drives and draws the contact, and that'll send Sophia Pagan to the line, shooting 2. So Sophia Pagan has taken it upon herself to lift up her team as Midland Park had fought back to tie the game up. Pagan now leading the offense and knocks down the first made foul shot for the Bridgemen. It's the first foul shot opportunity of this game for Fort Lee with 2:29 left to go in regulation. Well played game by both teams, really no fouls to speak of. Pagan goes 1 of 2 at the line. She's got 7 now. Lead back to 5, 31-26. That goes out of bounds, and that'll be another turnover for Midland Park and a chance for Fort Lee to widen the gap here as subs are going to be made. Ella Meyer coming back into the game for Coach O'Connor in Midland Park. It's getting late here. Fort Lee on top, 31-26 in a low-scoring game. Casal, and she gets called for the offensive foul. She pushed off to create a little space, and in doing so, turns it over. Gives the ball back to Midland Park with 2:09 remaining here in the fourth. Again, this is all part of the Bergen Invitational Tournament. The winner will advance to play top-seeded Park Ridge in Region C play next weekend. And there's Catalina Gill with the steal, and she's wrapped up immediately by Cruz with the foul. That'll be the third team foul against Midland Park, and possession going back over to Fort Lee. 1:53 left to go in the fourth quarter. Officially 1:52 left. 5-point lead, 31-26. Sophia Pagan, the leading scorer who has the ball now on the season for Fort Lee, has come alive here in the fourth, scoring 5 of her 7 points of the game. Midland Park trying to extend their defense a bit. Now a timeout taken by Fort Lee, and Coach Bill Straub, who's in his 5th season at the helm of the Bridgman program, he wants to talk to his offense of how to space the floor, run a little clock before they have to even think about possibly getting to the foul line. As Coach O'Connor was getting vocal with his side, urging his defense to press out and try to force a turnover here because time is not on their side. The road ahead for Midland Park after this one, they'll travel to Bogota. Their next contest on February 3rd. And they'll take on Palisades Park on February 10th. Then again, conclude the regular season slate of games at home against Cresskill. For Fort Lee, they're going to be back in action here at East Gym on Tuesday afternoon, I should say, against the Paladins of Paramus Catholic on February 1st, before then playing host to league rival Dwight Morrow on February 3rd, before they then conclude their regular season with 4 straight games on the road at Dumont, at Ridgefield Park, at Pascack Valley, and at Bergen Tech on February 22nd. So after the timeout, it's going to be Pagan doing the inbounding. She gets it into the backcourt, now to Gill. Coming up on the final 90 seconds of regulation. Here's Gill. Handing it off to Pagan, back to Gill. Gill driving down the lane, gets it stripped away. And that's going to be a turnover. Are they going to say a foul? Somehow the ball is going back to Fort Lee. A couple of Fort Lee Bridgman players fell behind the play. And it looks like one of the players is still down hurt. Might be Diaz. Might have fallen awkwardly on her ankle. And she's hurt on the play right now, stopping the course of the action with 1:19 left to go here in the fourth quarter. Again, looks like it might have been an initial tip that went out of bounds that gave the possession back to Fort Lee. And then on the subsequent inbounds, a pair of Fort Lee players got tied up with one another. They fell down. Possession was saved, but again, number 20, Vanessa Diaz, the 5'4 senior, was still banged up on the play and is being attended to by the trainer, Tom Herr, here at Fort Lee with 1:19 remaining in the fourth quarter. 31-26, the lead for Fort Lee. Fort Lee has scored the last 5 points in this game after Midland Park had fought their way back to tie it up at 26 all. Fort Lee has responded thanks to the play of Sophia Pagan as Diaz limps off the floor and will be attended to again by the trainer, Tom Herr, as it looks like that might be an ankle injury being attended to with Diaz. So a sub will come in for her. 1:19 remaining, possession still with Fort Lee, trying to salt this one away and get to 8-5 on the season. Inbound is up to Casal. Casal over to the near side and deflected out of bounds. Again, you could hear the loud barking of Coach O'Connor, telling his team to press out. Time is of the essence. He cannot afford to just allow Fort Lee to burn out the remainder of this time. Casal across the middle. She goes for the layup attempt, no good, and fouls her own miss, but lays it up and in. So Luciana Casal fouled her own miss, hustled, and got the big layup. Now the three-point attempt by Kasbarian off the mark. Into the corner it goes. Pagan with the rebound. Under a minute now left to go in the game. Midland Park running out of time here, trying the double team against Pagan. Good dribbling, gets it over to Maloney. Maloney now leaving off for Gill. Double team being called for by Coach O'Connor. Double team not coming. Casal on the baseline, missing the layup though. 30 seconds now remaining in the game, 33-26. Midland Park needs to go, and it's an interception there for Pagan. Pagan is then draped and fouled as she's hit into the arm. It's only going to be the fourth team foul of the game against Midland Park. So the Panthers are going to have to foul a couple more times here with 23.3 seconds left to go to try to extend this game. It's a 33-26 lead for Fort Lee. A 7-0 run in this game has put the Bridgemen in the driver's seat to advance in this tournament. Pagan just dribbling it around. Midland Park not pressing out and fouling. It's almost like they're putting up the white flag here. As the Bridgemen were pushed to the brink here by Midland Park in the fourth quarter. But Sophia Pagan and company outlast that charge. And Fort Lee, for the first time this season, will be 3 games above 500 as they will hold on to win by a final score of 33-26 and will advance to take on top-seeded Park Ridge next Saturday in the second round of this 2022 Bergen Invitational Tournament. Catalina Gill finished off with a game-high 12 points for the Bridgemen, while Avery Kasbarian also produced 12 points in a losing effort for Midland Park, who will fall to 3-8 on the season. With the victory, Fort Lee will improve to 8-5 overall this season. So again, thank you fans for joining us for girls basketball coverage here from East Gymnasium at Fort Lee. For my broadcast crew of Dimitri Nanis and Nicole Pacciani, I'm Dan Long saying so long. Fort Lee advances in the Bergen Invitational Tournament. Take care, everybody.